It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
Damn, Ben Mark shot this too.
What is good, y'all? It's your girl, Sha'Carri Richardson, and thank you so much for tuning in to TaeTalkTV Season 2. And I didn't want to start the first episode with anyone other than my best friend, Jordan Lewis.
What's poppin', everybody?
Besties for 10 years plus, Akron's finest. Tell me how you been. What's up, bestie?
I've been great. It's been a pretty busy week, a very eventful week, I would say. A lot of unpredicted mishaps, but you know, we ain't gonna let that keep us down. We're gonna roll with the punches and keep it going, you feel me? Mm-hmm. How about you?
My week has been crazy. I got to see my family last weekend, so that was amazing. And the week, like you said, a lot of unfortunate mishaps, but I'm here, I'm blessed, I'm highly favored, so I have no complaints. But I am happy to be sitting here with you. And like I said, I did just go home last weekend, so I got to visit a lot of the fam, a lot of our friends back in Akron, and I even saw Space Jam 2.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Starring, Akron's finest, LeBillionaire James.
It's a whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
Damn, Ben Mark shot this.
So, LeBron actually was just named the first active athlete to earn $1 billion, which is a huge accomplishment. I mean, yeah, there's no other athlete that's, like, while they've been playing their sport, has earned $1 billion. And as we know, a lot of athletes don't make it to $1 billion, or they blow through their millions. So it's a huge accomplishment, and apparently it's a lot of it's from his endorsements, not even just like his salary as a basketball player, which is pretty high. But how do you feel, being that we are from Akron, Ohio? You know, this man is from where we're from, and he's earned $1 billion.
I think that's amazing, honestly. Like, even when LeBron James comes up, I just feel so, like, elated because he is from where I'm from, and I think that he definitely put the city on the map, and he's given Akron a name. I mean, we've already had a name, not really, but
the Rubber City.
Yeah, you know, the Rubber City, but you know, he's given it a bigger name. And I think when people think of LeBron James and where he's from, because he's so big, they assume Akron is like this big, cool city, which it's not. It's not big, and you know, debatably, it's not that cool. But I love it. It's my hometown. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, like, when people talk about LeBron, like, yeah, he's from Akron. I'm like, yeah, this town is like this small. Like, we all know each other. If you don't know him, you're friends with him on Facebook. If you ain't friends with him on Facebook, you know their cousin, you know their uncle, you know somebody.
You dated their, brother, sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a small town.
Very small. So it's just really cool to see him reach such big heights. And even when I was like teaching more often than I am now, I was teaching Chinese students and Japanese students, and they would talk about how they love basketball and love playing basketball, and their favorite player is LeBron James. Like, this man is global at that. So it's just really cool to see someone from our hometown reach such great heights.
I agree. And like you said, I get super excited whenever people ask me where I'm from, or like if I tell them I'm from Akron and they're like, oh, LeBron James. I'm like, yes, damn right. Not only because he is from our hometown, but like you said, it's a small place. It's a small place where a lot of people don't know. They've never heard of it. They wouldn't know what Akron was if it wasn't for LeBron. And not only is he from there, he puts on for Akron.
He represents.
He's, you hear him. He's a kid from Akron. He built a school there. If you haven't seen Space Jam yet, there's a little shout out. And his wife's from there. His wife's actually graduated from our high school. He showed up to our games before.
I've seen him at a couple.
Mm-hmm. His high school is our high school's rival. So it's super cool to just have someone who is so inspiring, be from our hometown and earn $1 billion, because I feel like that's not something that we see. I can't name someone else from Akron, Ohio who's earned $1 billion, not personally.
Or a million.
It's very rare to see, but it's so inspiring, and I feel like he's inspired us so much. Like, I even feel like me being out here, while, I can't say it's all because of him, I do feel like he made it seem possible. So, yeah, how would you say LeBron's inspired you?
I would say the same. Honestly, it's like, hey, you from Akron, you made it this big. I don't see why I can't. You know, I'm not playing basketball nonetheless. But
you were named after, you know, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I am named after Michael Jordan. Yeah, true. But you know, it's just like, I don't know. He just inspires me to try to get to that level in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it won't be basketball, but that doesn't mean I can't still become a billionaire or a millionaire. I'm satisfied with $1 million, you know, as long as I can keep that money coming in somehow, some way, recycled. But yeah, and just like how we were saying, he's from Akron, but not only is he from Akron, he's from like the hood. Like anybody in Akron, y'all know Spring Hill. Y'all know Spring Hill.
And a lot of people don't, and they're familiar with the company. They're like, oh, Spring Hill Entertainment. I'm like, but y'all don't know what that actually represents. Like what Spring Hill looks like and what it meant to grow up there. You know, like what that comes with. A lot of people wouldn't, they'd be ashamed to say that they live in Spring Hill, but he made it the name of his company. So that just like, there are so many great things I can say about LeBron, and I don't even have to feel that way just because he's from my hometown. He genuinely is just seemingly a great person.
Absolutely.
And when he tweets, which I love how vocal he is, how much of an activist he is, because in his position, a lot of people don't use their voices because of what they're afraid they'll miss out on. But that clearly hasn't stopped him. He reached a Billy. But yeah, I just, I'm super inspired. And I want when people who are from Akron, when they dream big, I want them to be like, well, Shantae did it. Well, Jordan did it, you know, just like how I feel like, well, LeBron did it.
And I think people do look at us like that, honestly. Like, one of my other best friends, you know.
I hear you.
No, one of my friends, though, she always talks about, like, how looking at our pages, she just feels so inspired and it makes her want to come move out here or just move somewhere and start her modeling career or her acting career and vice versa. So, you know, we're maybe not on LeBron's level yet, but I feel like we definitely are inspiring people slowly but surely.
Definitely. And that's what it's all about. And I will definitely say I was truly inspired when I saw Space Jam 2, A New Legacy, because I feel like although it is, you know, a sequel to the original Space Jam, it was its own storyline. It had its own storyline. It was very much a different direction than the original Space Jam. And before I give my opinion, I know you didn't see it yet. Not yet. You want to see it in theaters?
Yeah, I want to see it in theaters. I do have HBO Max, but I actually want to go to the theaters to watch it.
Which I think is definitely worth doing. What are your expectations? I feel like a lot of people, you know, they're like, oh, it's not, you know, they have high expectations. It's LeBron James.
Yeah,
but what were
he's
your
not an
expectations?
actor at the end of the day. But my expectations for the movie, I can honestly say I low-key don't have any. Like, I'm really trying to go into it with an open mind, which is also why I haven't seen it thus far, because I wanted to wait till I was a little less excited to see it, because in the beginning, I was really excited. I was like, July 16th, I'm going. Like, but I want to calm down so that my expectations aren't like, I'm expecting it to be this, whatever, you know what I mean? I want to just go into it with an open mind, no excitement, and just be able to enjoy it versus trying to make it Space Jam 1 and compare LeBron to Michael Jordan, or why don't they have this, and what about this scene, and where's so-and-so, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm really just trying to go into it with an open mind and not try to make it what the previous Space Jam was.
Which I'm so happy to hear you say that, because I feel like so often when a new movie comes out or a sequel to a movie that we really love or was a big part of our childhood, we tend to put so much pressure on it. Even with the new Lion King, you know.
We weren't expecting guests today. Would you two cubs like to stay for dinner?
Yeah, stay for dinner.
It's not for us. Although it's here for us all to enjoy. It's not for us. It's for the new generation. But still, like, things rarely live up to, you know, the original. Not only that, let it be its own greatness. You know, that's kind of
its own legacy.
Its own legacy, exactly. Which
see what I did there?
I like that. But without giving too much away, I'll just say that I think LeBron did an amazing job. He's not an actor. He's no Denzel Washington. But I think he did really great, honestly. And not only that, I feel like he had way more lines than Michael Jordan. I'm going to just put that out there. He had way more lines than him. The movie's longer. It's 2 hours long, whereas the original, I believe, is like 128, 130.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so just little things like that that I took into consideration. But I think they did a great job with this. I really think so. The Looney Tunes are funny. LeBron's funny. Like, you know, like just, it wasn't.
You know, we got a sense of humor.
No, seriously, sometimes I feel like, is this like resonating with me because he's from Akron or because it's LeBron? I don't know, but.
Maybe a little both.
A little both.
You know, that's okay.
But yeah, it honestly was entertaining. It was funny without trying too hard. Like, for me, it didn't seem forced to me, which that's the one thing I don't like about sequels and remakes. It usually seems forced. So they did a great job with that. I think so.
We love you, bro.
We love you. It was great. You did great. And I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the original? Because I think some people don't realize that, like, if you go back and watch the original as an adult, you might not think it's as great as you did as a kid. So I don't know. What did you think of the original?
It's been quite some time since I watched the original, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I watched it not too long ago, maybe like a few years ago. It may have come on TV or they had it on Netflix or something. I don't know. I know I recently watched it maybe like a couple years ago, and I still enjoyed it the same way I did when I was a kid. I thought it was funny. The first one I thought was pretty funny. Looney. I don't know why the main image that comes to my head when I think of Space Jam 1 is when I think it's maybe Bugs and Daffy when they're like under the turf or under the grass.
Okay, let's go in this way.
I say let's go in that way.
He just never lines.
In the
Yeah. So.
That's hilarious. I do remember that part vividly. I think it's also because like remember the kids catch them and they're just like, you know, they're kids, so they're just like, oh, no one's questioning the fact that these fucking cartoons just came up out of the ground or that they're in my house. They're just like, what's up, Bugs? What's up, Dad? Like, so man. Yeah, but I think they did a good job in the second one of keeping it equally as loony. You know, that aspect that we enjoyed about the first one. I feel like they did a good job keeping that. So I'm excited for you to see it. I can't
I'm excited
wait
to see it.
Yeah, I can't wait for
Just
you.
need to make the time. Make the money.
Hey, the movies are super expensive out here.
Yeah, it's about 22 maybe.
Depends on if you know IMAX.
Because I think it's like 18 and you add on tax 10%, so then it's like 19, 20 at that point, so might as well use $20.
Look, Chris and I went to see Spiral, which was actually really good. If y'all haven't seen that,
I want to see that too.
It's honestly really good. Chris Rock did his thing, but it was $50 for me and Chris, and I went to see Space Jam last weekend in Akron, and 4 tickets was $42. I was like, how the hell is 4 tickets still cheaper in Akron than 2 tickets
That's crazy.
out here in LA? I'm just saying.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
What was it, $9 still? Last time I went to the movies in Akron, it was like $9.50.
It was some around there, but reasonable.
Yeah.
Very reasonable. So if you in Akron and you haven't seen Space Jam 2, shame on you. That's all I'm gonna say. But last question. I thought it was very interesting with Space Jam 2 how they made such a big deal out of them changing Lola's appearance.
Did they make her like thick or something? Or like hypersexualized or something like that?
Well, in the first one, I would say she was more hypersexualized. Like the first one, she was more. Her outfit was a 2-piece, you know, shorts,
And her
crap.
Yeah.
Never call me doll. Hey, nice playing with you.
It was all. It's you know, it's just cool to
You
see.
know how they gotta
it
do
working.
these days.
But yeah, a lot of people made a big deal about that.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen the new Lola to know, but you know, You know how they do these days. Which I just feel like they force things a lot. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a problem with it. I just feel like I just wish it would make more sense most of the time. You know, instead of looking like y'all just trying to fill a quota or
cater or pander to
a certain audience and vice versa. It's just like, sure.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like if they wouldn't have said anything in the media, I wouldn't have even noticed, if I'm being honest, because she's still thick. She just isn't wearing such like a sexy outfit. That's really the difference, that she's a little more, her character ain't so flirty. It's more like, I'm here to ball.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like more feminist type.
Okay.
So, I mean, I thought that was cool.
Good for her.
Yeah. Zendaya actually like mentioned something about it because people have been talking about it so much. She was just like, I don't understand why that was even the focus. I don't know. It's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Everybody has to have that perfect hourglass figure now. These BBLs are the new norm? I don't know.
That's what you want to call it. I'm not a big fan of the whole BBL situation that's been going on lately. Once again, I don't judge anybody for what they choose to do with their bodies. I just don't. I mean, just with like given the few things that's happened with like K. Michelle, for example, or other people who are having complications with these BBL surgeries, I just feel like it's not worth it. As well as I'm a person who just values authenticity and like just owning who you are, I guess, and what you are. So it's just like I wouldn't feel comfortable, me personally, if I was a woman getting the BBL, even if I didn't have a butt, because I know it's not mine. So all this attention I'm getting is because of something that that is synthetic. That it's just like you start getting attention that you didn't get before, but it's like, I don't know. I just don't like that thought. I feel like that would mess me up mentally. You know, it's like for me, for example, I feel like if I took like some penis supplement pills or some shit, you know, like if I just all of a sudden went from 4 inches to 8, and now I'm just trying to show everybody my stuff, like, yeah, look at me. It's just like, well, that's not you. Like for real, you wasn't born with that. That ain't yours. You paid for it.
Your son ain't gonna get that.
Your son ain't gonna get. I wonder if it's. I always wondered if that was hereditary, but I don't know. I truly don't know. And research has shown that no one knows basically. But anyway, that's just how I would feel about it. Even with which, I mean, I guess this is also a good argument in a sense too, because I also value like having my real hair. But I mean, I'm not a woman. Granted, even as a man, I guess I could get a weave, but it's just not my choice. But when I was growing dreadlocks, though, a lot of guys would get like the yarn dreads or get some weave put into their braids because their hair isn't long enough to get braided and stuff like that. And I'm just a person where it's like, if my hair ain't long enough, it just ain't long enough, and I'm gonna have to wait. But I mean, I understand with girls, I think it's a little different. At least, for me, I don't look at it that way for women, because most women are doing it because they want to change their look, or they want to protect their hair, or things like that. So that's a little bit different. But I think you guys get my point.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with what you're saying. I feel like being back in Akron, I ain't gonna lie, I saw a lot of BBLs, which just like Ohio is the Midwest, that we're not used to seeing plastic surgery. Like I would say one of the things that was I wouldn't even say culture shock, but yeah, for lack of a better term, culture shock. When I first got to LA, I would see a lot of plastic surgery, a lot of fillers, a lot of, BBLs, a lot of Botox, things that I'm not used to seeing being from such a small city where that's kind of like not a norm. But now with these BBLs, it is becoming a norm. It's becoming a conversation. It's something that people talk about pretty openly on Facebook, which I have no problem with either. If you are going to do it, I definitely feel like you should own it. But please do your research. Go to, a legit doctor, someone preferably in the States, I would say. Just saying, you're going to the Dominican Republic and Mexico, and a lot of those women don't make it back. They don't get to even enjoy the surgery because either their butt has exploded or collapsed, which is a common thing. I've seen horror stories, even back in the day before BBLs were just accessible to everybody. You know, you would see those horror stories of black market surgery where people end up dead or seriously injured, or they lose their limbs or their butt, and they never live normal lives, and they usually end up saying they regret it.
And you can work out to get ass. I'm just saying. Like, I've seen it. You can definitely work out. It's hard work, but you can do it. But so it's like, y'all just skipping the whole step, basically. Which, I mean, once again, I ain't judging, but I just don't think it's worth it. It's not something and it don't jiggle the same. It don't even, like, it's just like, and it's like, and your butt's stiff now. It's just like, why? Like, why? I don't get it, me personally.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
It looks good. It looks good, and you know, some might feel better than others. From what I've been seeing, just because, you know, I see a lot of the statuses, and I look at the comments, and it's like apparently sometimes you got to go back for a second round because the first round didn't turn out right, or it didn't meet your expectations. You also have to work out going into that surgery and after. You're supposed to take care of yourself.
Speaking of, what did you say? You said not working out, or it wasn't what they expected. That's another thing. I think we had a conversation about plastic surgery in general before, and I said another thing about plastic surgery is you get one thing done and you realize, dang, okay, if they only would have just lifted my butt up just a little bit more on the left, it'd be perfect. Then you go back and get it lifted up more on the left. Dang, now I need to get a little bit, just a TT on the right. Now you keep going back and getting these small adjustments. Oh, let me just do this while I'm here. Let me just do this. And now you put yourself in this cycle of, you know, cosmetic surgery that you don't even need because you're never going to be satisfied. If you're not happy with yourself.
It becomes psychological.
Yeah, if you're not happy with yourself, period, you're not going to be happy with yourself getting the surgery.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just starts there. You need to just be happy with who you are. Own it.
Yeah, because back in the day, we didn't, you know, like, it's just like, if you didn't have an ass, you just didn't have an ass. Like, you could work out, you know, you could eat. Maybe after you have a baby, you might get a little more junk in the trunk. It's kind of just like, it is what it is. But now it's like, women, like you said, they don't even try to work out first. It's kind of just like, oh, well, let me fix it. Like, let me fix it. And that alone is a psychological issue. It's body dysmorphia. It's like you want to be perfect, and the sad truth, there is no such thing as perfect. There's no one standard. I know everybody want to look like a Kardashian,
and the Kardashians don't even look like the Kardashians.
and that's my thing. You guys are trying to look like people who don't need. They're not even happy with what they look like. They're constantly getting stuff done, tweaks and stuff, and monetizing off of it, monetizing off of our insecurities, monetizing off of their own insecurities. And then it's like, you know, I see a lot of men who are here for it. It is promoted in music. You know, like,
I think even
shake what your doctor gave you. Like, you know.
Oh, that's what he said. I never knew it. I don't know. It sounded like he's saying shake what I don't know. You know how you just make up your own.
Yeah.
I was saying shake what you thought they gave you. I don't know, but that makes 10 times more sense. I'm like, oh.
There are so many lyrics, and it's just like, it's like.
But you can't shake what your doctor gave you because it don't shake. So I don't know why he even said that.
Yeah, but I would say real men wouldn't want that. I mean, and I'm not saying that, because I do think there are certain situations, like if you've had multiple kids and you want to tighten up, like a mommy makeover, a mommy I feel like, yes, you know, you owe it to yourself to make yourself feel good if you can afford to do it the right way. Because after a few kids, you do have stomach fat. You have fat that isn't as easy to just work off. Like, you know, situations like that, I definitely understand. You have 4 or 3 kids. You want to go tighten things up with your own body fat, by all means do that. But again, do your research. Don't just rush to, you know, a quack to, you know, get your body tightened up and then you end up looking crazy. But I feel like if you don't even have no kids, you literally have a decent body that, you know, you do a couple squats, you'll be fine. Come on now, why not just try that first? Why?
Yeah, definitely don't use it as a cop-out. Like, if you do get it, like I said, I'm not judging anyone, but it definitely should not be a cop-out to you working out. Like, get your BBL and then take your ass to the gym. you know, and continue to go to the gym.
Yes.
Because if you don't, I think you're just gonna look oddly proportioned. And then what happens when you get older?
Yeah.
And especially if you're not working out. You know, if you get older now, you really you just start looking disformed.
Yeah, or you haven't had any kids yet. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Because it's like, what I've heard. Yeah, what I've heard is after you get like a tummy tuck, you can't have children naturally anymore. And that's why you see a Kim Kardashian who will have a surrogate, because her body cannot hold a child. Like, you know, it's not natural. And I just feel like you mess with nature at the end of the day. Without even trying, I don't know.
But once again, we're not judging.
No.
I say do what makes you feel best about yourself, but I also say be comfortable with who you are beforehand, so that you don't continuously go back or keep trying to change minute things about yourself. And or have your kids first, then start thinking about it, or get grown first, because a lot of times nowadays too, since we have all this access to media, you got kids who like 18, 19, 20 going to get BBLs. Your body's not even fully developed yet, so you're really playing with nature, for lack of a better term, because now once you do turn 21, now your body is still growing, and now your whatever surgery you did have is looking off because your body wasn't fully developed when you got it in the first place.
The silicone doesn't grow with you. And then like you had mentioned something, but it made me think of like what's the message that we're sending to the youth? Like, you know, we're gonna have daughters, we have little sisters, we have cousins, nieces. These kids who look up to us and they see this, they see us running to get surgery. So what happens when your daughter's like, I don't like my nose, I don't like my lips, I don't like my face?
Well, honey, let's go to the doctor. Like, no.
Is that what we're...
Deal with it.
No, like we have to teach our kids to love themselves. We have to love ourselves first. We have to show them what love, self-love is.
Speaking of though, I think when it comes to plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery in general, now that I'm thinking about it some more, sometimes I don't even think it's about them wanting to change their body. I think it's also a status symbol. So, especially out here, like to have money to even get cosmetic surgery means you have money. You know, so you
get good cosmetics.
Yeah, exactly. So you get Botox every other week, or it's a conversation that, you know, people with money will have. Yeah, I'm going to get some Botox. Oh, who do you go to? How much do you pay?
Getting my lips injected, half a syringe. I'm telling you, these are like casual conversations here.
Getting laser hair removal, you know, stuff. All of that costs money, but I think a lot of times people do it too because of that status that it gives them, that elitist attitude behind it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because everybody can't afford. That's probably what they were saying. Like, you just mad because you can't afford a BBL. No, that ain't the case. But you're right, I can't. But nonetheless, I think it's also, that's part of the reason why a lot of people get it too, is for the status, especially out here, more so.
I would even say back home too.
Yeah.
You know, like Akron, I love my city, but we're so guilty of like trying to stun on each other and flex money and flex status. Like everybody wants to appear like they have way more than the next person, when really we need to be uplifting each other. Like I want to see more billionaires coming out of Akron. I don't care about BBLs.
Or is that the only BBL I care about is billionaire? Because it's like, never mind. Too much.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you. And I think the more men we hear say, you know, we prefer a natural body. Because I did have an old man, well, not old, more middle-aged man. He was like in his 40s or whatever. This was back in the day when Uber was like a new thing. He's my Uber driver. And he was just talking about how, like, you know, new trends among women, like the heavy makeup. He was like, that makes you look like a drag queen. He's like, and it's becoming an issue. He's like, because now you can't tell a trans, you know, from a woman who just got her face beat. Like, he was really perplexed, y'all. He was like, and he started talking about, like, BBLs and plastic surgery and just how, he's like women, our bodies are supposed to sag. Our boobs are supposed to sag. Cellulite is natural. As women, as anybody, as an adult, you're allowed to do what you want with your body. So if you want to get a BBL, by all means, that is your choice. we're just saying, please do your research. Do it because you truly want to, not because
you're trying to live up to the Kardashians or your friend that just got a BBL or
Instagram. Yeah, because the truth is, if that is your reason, you'll never be satisfied, and you'll always be trying to fix something, tweak something, change something, when really all you need to do is like change your perspective on yourself, the way you love and view yourself. So
like I was saying before, you get one thing done, you're going to want to get the next thing. Maybe your left butt cheek is too high now you got to go get your right cheek done, but now the right cheek is too high, so you get the left cheek done, and now you're in a cycle.
Now you're like, I need a nose job, I need some new lips.
Well, I'm here.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just no way to be. To live up to what? A whole bunch of girls who face tune and alter their bodies, who get all this work done to still edit their pictures. Come on. We gotta do
what's
that.
the point? Yeah, love yourself and make informed decisions.
And honestly, I think we need to, as women, just love each other a little more. Like, instead of hating on a woman because you see something she's got, compliment her, uplift her. And when you think about what she has, don't think about what you don't have. Think about what you have. Because honestly, there's something she's looking at in you, and she's just like, wow, I wish I had more of that. You don't even realize it because you're too busy looking at her BBL. You know, so. Anywho, on to another topic. I would say, like, well, this has definitely been the year of the woman, and not just the woman, but the black woman. Like, we are taking over every arena. We are really, like, coming into our own, and, like, barring none. And I would say that there have been a lot of young black athletes who have really, like, made their presence felt this year. One being ShaCarri Richardson.
Talented blocks. On the inside, Tiana Daniels got a good start, but this is where Richardson winds up and eases back. She points to the time, 10:65. How about that?
Who, if you don't know, that's a shame on you. Because she has literally been named one of the fastest women on earth. If not, I think the fastest woman on earth. And she struck a lot of controversy when she got banned from the 2021 Olympics for smoking. So she tested positive for marijuana, and it was said that she was taking a performance-enhancing drug. So she was disqualified for that reason. That was the reason why. And I just want to know, what are your thoughts when it comes to ShaCarri and the whole weed controversy?
I think it's amazing that she reached such a great height, but nonetheless, I feel like she knew the rules as far as being an Olympian or a professional athlete in general. She knew the rules. She knew that if she was caught smoking or pissed dirty, then, you know, her accomplishments would be taken away from her, or her, you know what I'm trying to say, basically. Yeah. What she worked so hard to get to will be taken away from her, and she knew that. And she didn't try to deny that she didn't know that. She knew, you know. Mm-hmm. And I honestly agree with the Olympics' decision to not let her run because, once again, those are the rules. However, I do not agree with the fact that there is this woman, I don't know her name, but who is now being championed for speaking out about her CBD usage, which is pretty much the same thing. Someone made a very good comparison on the internet saying that this sounds a lot like crack, for lack of a better term. Cocaine being weed, ShaCarri, crack being ShaCarri, basically, and cocaine being the CBD. Because as we all know, they criminalize crack so heavily, but they don't criminalize cocaine as heavily. Mm-hmm. And we all know who used crack more often than cocaine. Mm-hmm. So what was it really? Are I really targeting black people, or is it really about the war on drugs? Same thing with ShaCarri. If she's being banned for THC, she needs to be banned for CBD. It's the same cannabinoid. Mm-hmm. What's the difference at the end of the day? But
the face attached to it.
But the face attached to it. So that's something I don't agree with. I feel like if y'all gonna if y'all gonna try to demonize her or villainize her for her uses of the drug, then why are y'all championing this individual for her use of the same similar drug? Granted, it's not the exact same, but nonetheless, it shouldn't be. She's getting a lot of positive news coverage versus Sha'Carri. Her news coverage was negative before she even started, you know,
that's 100% true.
You know what I mean? So make it make sense.
I 100% agree with you, and I like how you put that, because it's the truth. But I don't feel like the Olympics' decision to ban Sha'Carri or not allow her to run was rooted in racism. I do think the coverage that she's been receiving has been, and that's a good example of how. Because even before she was caught or tested negative or positive for THC, the attention was definitely not on her accomplishments as much as it was her appearance, her hair, her nails, the lashes, even questioning her gender, as if though she's not a freaking athlete who trains day in and day out. And let's just be honest, I mean, the fact that she's able to run that fast while smoking is crazy.
Somebody said the fact that she can run and smoke weed, she needs 2 gold medals. And I agree.
It's just crazy, and it just goes into how, like, just that bias is there and how it creates narratives and how it can be dangerous. Because she has been villainized and demonized, and when really she's a 21-year-old girl who got caught doing what a lot of athletes do, honestly, and just are smarter about it. A lot of athletes smoke and do worse, if we're being honest, but they don't get caught. And what I can appreciate about Sha'Carri is she did take accountability. She didn't, but she's not the one who's doing that. It's the people on the internet who's created this division where it's like either you're for Sha'Carri or you're against her. And I will be honest, I agree with you. I don't think they're wrong for banning her. What I do think is just like the attention that she's garnered and just the way that they've tried to present her in the media, I feel like that speaks more to like racism. Maybe their bias and the agenda to like, I don't want to say like this, it's like they're making an effort to take down any powerful black person, but I'm not saying that they're not either. that's all I'm gonna say. Because even if we're talking about Simone, who I would say has a way more squeaky clean image than Sha'Carri, they've found a way to bring her down by saying that they can't give her a perfect 10. They cannot score her accurately because she's just so much better than her competition. Like, it's just...
And low-key, I mean, they low-key even demonized her for that. For being too good. It's just like, what did she say? She's taking opportunities away from other gymnastics or something like that, they said. Like, she's so good that...
It's unfair to her competition.
It's unfair to her competition. But it's just like, no, her competition needs to step it up. Like, if she's that good, let her be that good. Give her her perfect 10 and call it a day. But don't try to make it seem like it's something wrong with her or that she's doing something out of the ordinary. Because no, she's just working hard like every other gymnastics or any personal or any professional athlete should be doing. Work harder. Don't try to demonize and villainize her and make her seem like she's, you know,
done something wrong.
Yeah, doing something wrong.
Or like she's cheating. She's not. She's just good. She's been training and she's naturally talented. And,
so give her that.
And exactly, give her that. Give her that. Moving on to the 2 young women who have been banned because they tested or their testosterone levels were higher than the average woman. Their names are Christine and Patrice, and I apologize because I'm not going to pronounce their last names. But these 2 young ladies of African descent were banned and questioned because their testosterone levels were just higher than the average woman. How is that fair? How is that fair? How is that their fault?
I feel like it shouldn't matter what their testosterone levels are. If they were naturally born as women, they should be able to participate in the Olympics for women. Period, point blank. If they're a woman, they're a woman. It doesn't matter what their testosterone levels are, or whatever the case may be. Like, they're women. They were born as women. They should be able to participate in women's sports. Period, point blank.
Yeah, it just comes down to right and wrong, really. And while I don't want to say that that's even rooted in racism, it's just you don't hear this happening to our white counterparts. You just don't.
And you wouldn't hear it happening to them.
Because they would just be like, wow. If anything, they'd probably be impressed. They'd be like, wow, you know, how is it that your testosterone levels are that high? How is it that, you know, like as a woman, you're able to perform at this level? It wouldn't be questioned. It wouldn't be villainized for sure. If anything, it'd be celebrated. Mm-hmm. You know, and you could say that that's my bias, but I don't know.
I agree though. At the end of the day, like, it's not fair that we already have to work harder to get to these same spaces, you know, and then we work our asses off to get to these spaces only to still be treated less than. Mm-hmm. Treated less than for being better than. How does that make sense? You know what I mean?
It's a competition.
And it's with everything, I feel like, when it comes to the African diaspora. Anything that we do, we always have to be 10 times better. And even when we are 10 times better, it's still not good enough. Mm-hmm. Or they're gonna find something to pin against us. Whether it's gonna be Sha'Carri and her wigs and her nails and her lashes, or Simone being too good, because y'all, what, y'all don't know, y'all don't even know what else to say. It's just like, well, we don't know what to say, so we're just gonna say you're too good. Like, come on now. Like, give me a 10. Like,
exactly.
And then not letting the women who, you know, have naturally high testosterone levels. It's like, who cares? They're women, they were born women, what's the issue? They should be they should be allowed to participate regardless of what their testosterone levels say.
Exactly.
Period, point blank.
And I have one more example, and it's crazy because I'm pretty sure it's not the last thing, but just even with the swim caps for our natural hair, apparently those have been banned, and it's just like, this by no means makes the black girls swim faster, perform better, anything like that. If anything, it's kind of preventing them, I would think, from performing at their maximum level, but they're being banned because it's, I guess, something that's for, or specifically for black women. I'm not even exactly sure what the reasoning is for why it's banned.
I heard that they said that it's not the natural way a swim cap should fit over your head or something like that. Something not very rooted in anything, for real, for real. Like, I don't know what they were even trying to say. But with that being said though, you can't help but to feel like a specific race is being targeted. Because who else is gonna wear that swimming cap? You know, or who else is trying to? Mm-hmm. Somebody with natural hair, you know what I mean? I personally though, I mean, I wouldn't see why somebody would want to wear a swim cap for an afro in a race, because I feel like it wouldn't be good for your performance. I feel like the water would probably get in, next thing you know it's in your hair, next thing you know it comes off. But I would probably just get some braids and put a regular swimming cap on and call it a day. But nonetheless, why can't they have the option? Mm-hmm. If it's what makes them comfortable, if it's what they want to wear, who cares?
And it hasn't proven to like enhance their swimming capabilities, because like you said, there's just no way. It's not helping them. If anything, it's slowing them down. And if they still just so happen to win, I mean, again, the competition just needs to improve. And in my personal opinion, it does seem like black women, black athletes are always being picked on. Even LeBron James, if we're being honest, like, he speaks out about something and he's told to shut up and dribble. And then when the Drew Brees guy speaks out, the same reporter said, well, he's entitled to speak how he feels. The same reporter who told LeBron to dribble, or shut up and dribble. So it's just like, I know a lot of people will say that we're pulling the black card or the race card, or that that we're looking for an issue. It's not that. It's just, it is what it is. Like, we're seeing it for what it is. Black people tend to be targeted more, or like nitpicked with just a bit more. And it's, I mean, it's to the point now that they're just saying, well, it's just unfair to the competition. It's like they can't even come up with valid excuses anymore. Sha'Carri, in her instance, that's a little bit different. She set herself up for that, unfortunately. But again, the coverage, the way that it's portrayed to the media, the way she's portrayed to the media, is very interesting. And it's it goes even deeper than that. This is just surface level. The way that the media portrays black people, black athletes in general, it kind of demonstrates how like systematic racism works in this world, in America, how it benefits our counterparts and it's a disadvantage to us. Because, it's just like the way that we approach things have a lot to do with what we're exposed to on a daily basis. And it's just true. And what I'm exposed to is different than what Jordy's exposed to, but it's even more different than what a white person is exposed to. So, these storylines matter. These athletes matter. Their stories matter. And the way that they're portrayed, it matters. But yeah, I could go on and on and on.
Yeah, I do feel like, though, we as a community sometimes are so quick to champion someone just to have a mascot. For example, Sha'Carri, because you mentioned people being divisive online. We're so quick to champion someone to have a mascot that we kind of try to disregard the things that they do wrong. And like you said, Sha'Carri did take accountability, which I do respect, but we can't just applaud bad behavior. Not bad behavior, but applaud breaking the rules. Yeah, applaud breaking the rules just so we have a mascot. You know what I mean? We have to hold each other accountable, period.
We do.
She held herself accountable. We also need to hold her accountable. We can't just be like, well, she broke the rules, but she should still be able to run. It's like,
because you have people who were saying like, oh, but Michael Phelps, he smoked and he still got to swim. No, he didn't.
He did hear a lot. I heard a lot about it, but I know he got chewed out about it. If I even heard about it, because I didn't even care who Michael Phelps was. but I remember it being a big story. So and
he definitely didn't get to swim. He had to, he had to deal with the consequences of his actions. But again, even going back to what you were saying about like we do often get these heroes, these idols, these people who like do these phenomenal things, like Sha'Carri being the fastest woman on earth. And it's like we are so enamored with the greatness, and we're just like, we don't want to let go because it's like this is our own. Like we hold on to these people for dear life because it's just like we don't get to see so many people from where we're from shine the way that athletes do, or these celebrities do. These people who are just people. They're just people. She's a 21-year-old girl who made a mistake, but because she gets this prestige of being the fastest woman alive, it's just like we hold on to that. We don't want to let go of that because it's just like, here yet again another one of our greats are being proven to be flawed, or like, I don't know, villainized in the media.
But for real, just because she ain't going to the Olympics, that don't mean she ain't the fastest woman in the world still.
It just sucks because it'll be another 4 years before before she can get the title, or
before they can give her the title. Let's say that.
Yeah, before.
Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. You can already prove yourself, but record keeping wise, it's a different story.
Yeah, and if we want to go deeper into that, like we can even look at like an R. Kelly, for example. This man is tremendously talented. Not gonna lie. Just talking about Space Jam, if you just hearing him sing I Believe I Can Fly, y'all, when I was watching Surviving R. Kelly, they say he just starts singing it. Like he saw Michael Jordan fly and to dunk the ball, and the words just start coming out of him. He's tremendously talented. And I think sometimes when we see these people, when we see them be villainized, it's easier to be like, they're trying to take another one of ours down, when really, no, we need to hold him accountable. That man has problems.
Same with Bill Cosby, really, as another example. Although I kind of don't believe a lot of the stuff that they say about him, but I mean, once again, I'm not there to say what anybody did to anybody, to be honest with you. So I have no opinion, but that's another good example though. We so quick to
defend.
Yeah, because Bill Cosby is Bill Cosby. You know, we want that idol, we want that mascot, we want that.
That was all of our dads growing up.
Yeah,
you know, that's Dr. Huxtable.
You know,
we aren't used to seeing. You know, he was the first person to be like, no, you know, I'm going to actually make a sitcom so that like people, black people, can see themselves in a positive light. Like that's how crazy it is. At one point, black people were never like, if we were in a movie, we were the villain, we were a criminal, we were a rapist, we were a thief. It was always negative, a thug. We can never be seen in a positive light. And it's only now, I won't even say starting to change, because I feel like honestly, black people have stories that we want to tell, but that's not what people want.
Yeah.
Again, black women, black people, let's just continue to be great. Let's continue to be great. Let's not let this stop us or discourage us. But I just feel like let this be a testimony to our greatness. Look how far people are willing to go to stop us.
And once again, we support everyone, so don't try to spin our narrative. But we just want things to be fair.
And that, exactly. Fair.
Bottom line, it should just be fair across the board.
100%. With that said, it's that time to let y'all know Tay said try this. I will start first. I want to promote my boyfriend Chris Marshall's performance, which will be at the Mint LA on August 25th. I'll also be making a brief appearance as well, so check that out. I'll put information in the link below, or I'll put the link below, so you guys can check that out, buy tickets, come support. We definitely love to see you guys. And then, yeah, Dre, what would you like to let the world know?
I would like to let the world know about
any new books you're reading or movies or anything you want to promote?
Well, I'll say try reading The Power of Habit. That is the newest book that I'm reading right now. I'm on page 60. But yeah, The Power of Habit. It seems like a pretty good book so far, and it kind of gets you to recognize your triggers and what kind of brings you into these cycles of life through your habits and how to unlearn habits even. So yeah, The Power of Habit.
Maybe Sha'Carri should get a copy of that. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, man.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Her habits ain't stopping her from being the fastest woman on earth, though.
Right, she's still getting brand deals. Shit, guys.
She'll be alright. But alright, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode. More episodes on the way. So if you could, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss future episodes, and check us out next time, guys, on TaeTalk. We out!